welcome back to Vividly You podcast. Today we have an incredible guest. Her name is Deborah Edwards, also known as Aunt Debb. She has her own show, y'all. She interviews young entrepreneurs, our children, our future. She showcases their businesses. She supports them by attending events and things that they're at. She's an amazing person. I got to meet her in person a few years ago in Atlanta. We were both at the Stellar Awards and we just stayed connected. So,
Yes.
welcome, Aunt Deb. How are you?
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me,
Yeah.
Latoya. I'm honored to be here. I am doing fine. I'm doing fabulous. How about that?
Yes, fabulous. I'm loving the blazer and the whole look.
Thank you. Thank
Right.
you.
Yes, branding is so important when you are an entrepreneur. We were
Yes.
talking about this a little bit before we came on air about branding and wearing your clothes, your logo, and just people being able to recognize who you are out in public.
Right.
So let's dive into Aunt Deb. Who is Aunt Deb?
Aunt Deb.
Or
Aunt
Aunt
Deb.
Deb? Which one?
Either
Either
one.
one.
Aunt Deb, Aunt Deb. I'm called both.
Okay.
Um, Aunt Deb is a mother of six, wife of 42 years, grandmother of 20,
Oh, wow.
and aunt to many.
Yeah.
Okay. And through life's journey,
Mhm.
I became Aunt Deb at a very young age because of my children and their friends. And my house was always just the house to go to, all the
Yes.
friends. And they called me Aunt Deb. Their friends called me Aunt Deb, and it kind of stuck
Mhm.
um, with me. So um, I came down with COVID
Mm.
really bad when COVID was around in the hospital, fighting for my life,
Mm.
actually fighting. And after, the healing process began in the hospital, God came to me and we talked about this journey. He knew my passion for
Yeah.
the children. He
Mhm.
knows how much I love them, how important they are to me, and I just wanted to do more.
Yeah.
Um, and as the healing began, I got phone call after phone call of nieces, nephews, friends, and Toya, you wouldn't believe how many of them were telling me their children had a business.
Wow.
So that's when the light really came on. I'm like, wow, why didn't I know about this? And they're like, I don't I don't know. I mean, we had one that was a gardener. She was growing her own
Mhm.
garden. She was 7. And I mean, when I tell you she had every tool, she showed me her yard. It was amazing. Um, I had one little girl that was making scrubs, body scrubs,
Okay.
and I mean, it went on and on. And so it just, God put it in my heart to build a platform. You need to build a platform for these youth to be seen and heard. So I prayed about it. I talked to a few pastors about it, talked to my family, and they said, hey, go for it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And so it began, and here we are, Toya.
Yes, I absolutely love that. I mean, our and some of the, I follow you on social media and just some of these kids, their businesses that you get to talk to them about, what inspired them to start their business and their stories and their journeys. So, what has been the most unique story of why one of the kids started their business?
One of them that sticks in my head. She's amazing. She's still going. She she told me that she had eczema really bad, and she was trying all these different products, and she said she just started reading different things, and she just started putting stuff together, making her own concoction. I'm gonna do it this way, that way, this way. And she went to her mom, and she was like, "Hey, I want to do this. This is," and her mom's like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to do it." So of course her mom helped her along with her journey,
Yeah.
and this little girl is doing amazing, like
Oh,
amazing.
what's
She
the
taught me
name
how
of her business?
it's Radiant Beauties.
Radiant
It's
Beauty.
Kalia. Oh,
Wow.
her setup, I mean, her professionalism
Mhm.
is amazing, and she's a strong believer in God as a child.
Yeah.
Her representation is it'll just she's just everything. And she was one of my first guests, not my actual first guest, but she was on my first season.
Okay.
And that baby has stuck in my heart
Aw.
because of how passionate
Mhm.
she is. So, I support her in her business. We've done a couple of events together. They've
Uh,
supported me in my journey, and I'll just be forever ever indebted to her because she inspired me. See, these kids
yeah.
inspire me as well. you
Yes.
know
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. I have eczema, and both of my children have eczema. So I definitely understand where she's coming from, trying to find that right cream or ointment or just something for just that relief of the
hmm
itch.
And yeah, and I've had a
Yeah,
couple of those. I hope I'm not confusing her with a couple of other
yeah.
entrepreneurs, but she stuck out with me the most.
Love that.
Again, they're all amazing, Toya. When I'm around them,
Uh-huh.
when I'm talking about them, you can see the smile on
I
my face.
do,
It just,
yeah.
oh my gosh. And I'm so excited to meet them,
Mhm.
when we get to meet, or even when we come on the video. I don't
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Mhm.
They're special to me, every last one of them.
I love
So I make them understand how important they are and how much we need them,
Yes,
you know.
children keep us going. They keep us on our toes and um that burst of energy. I think about my niece and my nephew. They are I'm probably gonna get their ages wrong. They are 3 and 5, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay.
they oh yeah, the energy level, especially my nephew. Oh my gosh. I was down there, I think it was Christmas Day, and
Uh-huh.
I was combing my niece's hair. And he said, Amy, how about you get a chair and you come in my room and I teach you how to play Fortnite? I said, nephew, how about Amy say she got a chair? She did, but Amy doesn't play Fortnite and Amy doesn't like video games like that. So Amy can't come do that right now. He just looked. He was like,
Oh,
okay. But I was like, Amy doesn't like video games. Maybe I'll do something else. But
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just I love their minds and how they think.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, children are amazing,
And,
especially our next
and
generation and being entrepreneurs. I'm seeing more children dive and step into that arena, and the parents are like just backing them and pushing them. And
man,
that support
amazing.
is so needed. So how much, as far as support, um, what do you see from the parents that
Amazing.
okay.
Amazing. Amazing support. It's
Mhm.
it's unbelievable. Really. It really is.
Good.
These parents are just as much into it as the kids are, if not more.
Right.
um, Making sure they are at events, that they, keep going, whatever it is, they're making sure they have it, keeping their morale up.
Yeah.
Now, Toya, that's the hardest
Mhm.
part of it all, because it's easy for a child to get discouraged.
Mhm. Especially if
That's
you
where
don't make a sale.
Aunt Deb comes in.
I
I really look for that. I'm not, but it happens,
yes,
and
yes.
I love encouraging them no matter what it is. I think if a child can think of it, develop it, we should honor it, right?
I agree with you. When I go to children's events or like a children's fair or business fair, I really try to buy from every child because I feel so bad if I'm looking and then I walk away, it's like, oh my gosh, I should have bought some.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, just that support or even, asking them their why and taking pictures of their stuff and just I feel like that extra encouragement, um, it also keeps them going and
It
motivated
does.
about their business. And I love that you do that and that you show up for these
Yes.
children.
I
Yeah,
love it. I love every bit of it. And then, I have to be a representation
right.
also, so sometimes I set up booths, and even though I don't sell anything, it's just I set a booth up, maybe put my shirts out, but I'm walking around, like
Yeah.
you said, just in awe, talking to them, supporting them if I can.
Yeah.
Um, and enjoying the conversation. That's the best
Exactly.
part.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to be on the Aunt Deb show because you got a lot of kids that just aren't, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not ready. And
Yeah.
I always tell them, well, whenever you're ready, because Aunt Deb is ready for you, you
Yes.
know. So whenever you're ready, and some of them do reach back out.
Mhm.
So
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
I'm going to make it bigger, Toya. When I say bigger,
Mhm.
I'm
'Cause you have some
collaborating.
new things that you're working on and that you've
Yeah,
announced. So, what are some of
yes.
those new things that we can expect to see from Aunt Deb in 2025?
Well, in 2025, I will not only be doing Zoom or video interviews, I will be in a studio as well. I've collaborated with Mr. Brian Christopher with
Okay.
Train to Catch Planes. You
Mhm.
guys check him out. His studio is amazing. He's amazing.
Awesome.
This guy has really built me up. He's about that. So I'm excited about that in-person interviews. That way they can bring their product, their talent,
Yes.
and you guys are going to see it live, this season. So even if I do the Zoom, I want them to still do the
Yeah.
same thing. In the past I've basically done interviewing, but now I want them to actually share
Right.
their product and really get in depth,
I like
to you guys. And um so that's one thing. And then coming up,
Mhm.
um I'm going to be doing a red carpet in New York for New York Fashion Week. So I've been invited to do the carpet for the.
Congratulations.
Oh,
I
I was so.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
Um,
want to thank Scribble Dad Media for that. He's
mhm.
amazing too. But yes, I'm going to be on the red carpet in New York Fashion Week. And then I'll be traveling abroad on my show as well. I'm going to Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I'm going different places. I'll be in Texas.
Let me know.
So I have to Houston. How far are
Houston,
you
that's
from
about
Houston?
3 hours. You'll have to let me
Three.
know ahead of time,
I
and maybe
will.
I'm
I
available.
will.
We can link up.
Okay, definitely. I would love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be traveling, doing more interacting
I
with
like
the Aunt Deb show, letting you guys see, hey,
mhm.
when I go to travel, you'll be traveling with me. Just, different things. Make it more fun, as
I
I can
have,
say. Because
there's a lady here in East Texas, and she does, a children's fair every year. And so some of these children, their businesses are amazing. I enjoy going. So I'll have to get that contact information for
please,
you to see.
please.
But yeah,
I mean, don't you? You're in awe when you see some of these things these kids are
but I wish
doing.
I had I got a ring from some young ladies at this business fair last year, and it
Hmm.
was a gold ring. It's like wire and they just did different designs with it. When I
Uh-huh.
tell you it has I can wash my hands, I can put lotion on, and it has not turned or changed. So I'm not sure what they're using, and I think it was like 2 or $3.
Okay.
But it's like one
Okay.
of my favorite pieces of jewelry.
And see,
And
see,
yeah,
and they probably took the time to make sure it didn't tarnish. That's what I
yes, it
loved.
hasn't
How
tarnished
they
at all.
get into their product, like Kalia with Radiant Beauty.
Yeah.
She gets into her product. She studies, she,
Mhm.
experiments, and most of them do. Most of them do that.
They
We
perfect.
have some that has talent, some that
Yeah.
sing, some that um dance.
Yeah.
I have them all. I have them all. And I just want to say I enjoyed this time that I took off because
Mhm.
I've been interacting with a lot of them, and I enjoy it so, so much. So,
Well, yeah, you said you took off time, and I agree. Like, I did a 4-month hiatus from interviewing, podcasting, because I do feel like you do need to sometimes step back, regroup, and come back. And you
yeah,
need that
yeah,
break. Your mind needs that
you
mental
do.
break,
You do.
so you can
And
be.
then you see how fast things change too. It's
Yes,
keeping up.
yes.
You're
They
like, wait a
change.
minute. Let me stop for a second and get it
Yes,
together
digital
here.
world. Oh man, yeah, it changes rapidly, so you have to keep up and stay on top.
Yes,
So yeah,
you
but I
do.
definitely, I love what you're doing. I just pray that God continues
Thank
to
you.
bless your business, your
Thank you.
show, everything that you touch. Let our
Thank you
audience
so much.
know how they can follow you and support the Aunt Deb show.
I have my show is actually on YouTube. It's the Aunt Deb show on YouTube.
Mhm.
I'm actually trying to get 1,000 followers this time. So
Okay.
please follow. But it's Aunt Deb on YouTube, and then on Instagram, it's the Aunt Deb show. On
Okay.
all platforms, it's the Aunt Deb show. Actually, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My biggest interaction, if I'm not doing the show, is Instagram.
Okay.
So you
Yes.
could go check out. But if you want to look at the interviews, and I encourage you to do so, you can find them on YouTube and check out the amazing kids that I
Yes.
have interviewed so far.
There are some great interviews out there. So, my last question for you, what
Okay.
does vividly you mean to you when you hear those two words?
Ooh, vividly you. Oh, um, it's being vividly you is being diligent. I try to be diligent. Oof, you got me here. Stability,
Yeah,
stability. Stability is important to me because stability is not a plan for perfection,
right.
but it's constant growth. So I try to be stable, diligent,
Mm-hmm.
and just be who I am. And who I am is I'm passionate
Right.
about these youth. I'm passionate about what I do,
Yeah.
and I'm going to keep going. And
Yeah,
hopefully, it'll turn out into something even greater.
it will. It surely will.
Thank you.
Like
Thank
each
you
one
so
of
much.
these children will always remember the opportunity that you gave them and the platform that you gave them. So I I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Latoya. Same for you.
You are so.
Same for you. And thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this platform.
Yeah,
You've always inspired me.
thank you.
Like you said, I remember when we met at the Stellar Awards, and I ran up to you and I'm like, oh my God, I waited on you guys. You were
Oh,
busy interviewing a celebrity, and I was like, oh my God, there's the Toya. That's how much you inspire me till this day.
thank
So
you.
you
Thank
keep you
you.
keep being great, okay? I really admire. I love everything that you do.
Thank you so much, and
You're
likewise,
welcome.
I do. I support and love how you are pouring back into the next generation because it is
Well,
definitely
thank you so
needed.
much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you all for tuning in. Remember to be bold, be beautiful, and be vividly you. Until next time, be. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Vividly You podcast. I'm sure you'll love similar content in the Alive Podcast Network app. Plus, you can support this podcast and enjoy ad free listening to nearly 100 other Black hosted podcasts. Did you know you can support this show by downloading and becoming a member of the Alive Podcast Network app? You'll experience unlimited access to Black hosted content and we'll be able to keep bringing you amazing content week after week.